Well, that shit escalated quickly. The inevitable has now happened, beginning the final arc of this series of SchwarzesMarken, where it's basically going to be the good guys versus Lise. I should say at this point that I don't feel like SchwarzesMarken actually has that much of a story, as it's basically a bunch of mecha pilots talking with each other all the time and fighting beta monsters, but it all happens to complement the overall atmosphere of this anime. I feel like SchwarzesMarken is more of an atmosphere-based anime rather than, say, character-based or story-based, and since the atmosphere is quite effective at being dark and brooding and uncomfortable at times, the anime works for me. So in episode 8 of SchwarzesMarken, Lise is a traitor, surprise surprise, who somehow manages to overpower and capture multiple badass experienced mecha pilots, but Katia and Theodore are somehow inside a mecha suit, which they both escape in. So yeah, the whole capturing part was pretty much skipped over for this episode, probably to make us not think too hard about how Lise actually managed to pull off such an operation. I mean, come on, she's just one mecha pilot, a newbie mecha pilot, right? So what the fuck happened, 666 Squadron? Did Lise drug you all in your sleep? Did Lise somehow turn ultra badass overnight or something like that? But anyway, Theodore goes into shock and he's pretty much a sack of potatoes for the majority of this episode. Katia seems quite calm though, probably because she knew, as well as all of us, about what was going to happen. Then Katia and Theodore are taken in by anti-government activists, they meet up with Politics Girl, and then they all plan to rescue the 666 team by offering the 666 commander, who they'll rescue as a symbol to motivate this other army team, so that this other army team will help Theodore and company save the day. The army refuses, but then we get this long and emotional monologue from Katia about how she's automatically so great for being the daughter of this badass soldier, and that she should totally be the motivating symbol instead of the commander as payment to this army for helping them. I don't know, Katia sounded convincing enough when she was giving that monologue, even though I didn't really believe that she could replace the commander in any way. Meanwhile, Lise tortures the other women for no reason. She's evil! Kill that bitch! So yeah, this was a slightly intense start to the final arc of this series, and it can only get more intense as Theodore and Katia move closer to facing off against Lise. I'm hoping that there's going to be a mecha battle between at least Katia and Lise, or better yet, a mecha battle between those two taking place within a beta army. That would be intense as fuck. And perhaps it will be Theodore who realizes that Lise is an evil bitch, and Theodore will have to choose whether or not to kill her, similar to the commander situation with her brother. You see, the climax was set up from the start. Now let's see if Theodore and Katia will succeed in rescuing at least the commander from the evil clutches of Lise.